we were dealing with blocked credits. Now let's continue with the blocked credits from page number 49. Works contract service for construction of immovable property. It is another blocked credit. So what is it? Works contract service for construction of immovable property is blocked.
The screen is not shared. Sir.
Okay, let me share the screen, which I forgot to do. Good. So I have shared the screen. Now is it visible? Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So works contract service for construction of immovable property. Now, what are the terms which you should keep in mind? Works contract service. What do you mean by works contract service? We have a definition. What do you mean by works contract service? You have a definition of immovable property. What do you mean by immovable property? Immovable property is not defined under the GST law. So you have to go to General Clauses Law, General Clauses Act. General Clauses Act. From General Clauses Act, you have to pick up the meaning of immovable property. Suppose you have constructed a office building, or you have constructed a factory building. You have utilized input services or capital goods for the purpose of construction of that office building or factory building. Then you won't get the input tax credit. This you won't get the input tax credit if you give a works contract or you build it on your own account. Both the cases you will not get the input tax credit. Then who will get the input tax credit for works contract of immovable property? The contractor will get the input tax credit. Who will get the input tax credit? The contractor will get the input tax credit. Now I will tell you an example so that you will understand it in a better manner. In simple terms, let us say CHAMS Hyderabad wants to construct a new facility beside the new Secretariat of Telangana state. So KCR sir is building a new secretariat. So beside that, CHAMS also want to construct its facility to train CS students. Now they have contacted me and asked me whether I am interested in constructing that building. I readily accepted. Yes, sir, I will construct the building. The contract price is 10 crores. Now what I need to do? I have to construct the building for them. That building will have an administrative block. Administrative block will be there. Student cafeteria will be there. And then you have state-of-the-art conference room. Conference room will be there. And you have state-of-the-art 5 classrooms with all the modern facilities will be there. One extraordinary library is there, and one room for student discussions is constructed. Now that is the overall plan, and the total contracted value is 10 crores. Let us assume what is there. Will anything of us go away if we assume like this? Nothing will happen. Let us dream, let us assume what is there. There is nothing wrong in that. Okay, right. Now, this is a works contract. This is a works contract. Once I construct this building, it will become immovable property. Immovable property. Okay. Now for the construction of this building, what I will be doing? Now what I will do? I will charge 10 crores plus GST of 18%, 1.8 crore from CHAMS. So total I will take 11.8 crores from them as contract value. My output tax is 1.8 crore. Now will I get ITC? Yes, I will get ITC because I am the contractor. I purchased cement. I purchased what you call sand. I purchased iron. I purchased sanitary ware. I purchased electrical items. I purchased furniture. I purchased plywood. I purchased sunglass. I have employed a labor to construct the building. On all this, I will get input tax credit. I will get. Now, CHAMS is providing output service of imparting a training, coaching for CA students. They will have output tax. Now, the tax which I have charged from CHAMS 1.8 crores, they paid it to me. Will they get ITC? No, they won't get ITC. I will get ITC. I am the contractor. CHAMS who got constructed the building from me, the tax which they have paid to me, they can't claim ITC because it is blocked. Now let us suppose I have discussed with the management of CHAMS. They called me, NRK, will you construct the property for us with admin block, what you call student conference halls or student cafeteria, 5 classrooms, 1 library, 1 discussion room, everything they told me. I quoted 10 crores plus GST. The management went into a separate room. They had discussions and they came out and told me, NRK sir, we will do one thing. We will meet the next time. We will call you after we discuss within ourselves. They told me. I went away. What they have done, they have started constructing themselves. They thought that they will be able to complete the construction for 9 crores. Why unnecessarily spend 2.8 crores extra? So they thought of constructing the building for themselves. So all the things they have constructed. They have constructed the building on their own account. On own account. They thought that they will be constructing only for 9 crores. What is there? Unnecessarily spent another 2.8 crores. If we save that on 2.8 crores, we can provide some more additional facilities to the students who join with us. The thought process was like that. Okay. Now what happened? For construction of the building, what they have done? They bought cement, 28% GST. They bought iron, 18% GST. They bought sand. They bought tiles. They bought marble. They bought electrical items. They bought furniture. They bought plywood. On all of them, they paid GST. And they have utilized all these to construct the building. The building became immovable property. The building became immovable property. Now tell me whether they have output tax, they impart a CA coaching, they collect fees, GST is applicable 18% for them, output tax. Now can the all the inputs which have been utilized in the construction of the building, the tax paid on them, they take it as input tax credit? No, they can't take it as input tax credit, not allowed. Why? Because this became an immovable property. Input services, capital goods used for the purpose of construction of immovable property is blocked. That's all. Is blocked. So this is the basic idea. This is the basic idea. Now what we will do is we will develop upon this idea. We need to know what do you mean by works contract. We need to know what do you mean by immovable property, etc. Here, construction of immovable property. Now, suppose immovable property is constructed, you are capitalizing it in your books of accounts. Then input tax credit is not available. But what happened? There is already a constructed building. You are undertaking repair work. You are undertaking repair work. Okay. Now that repair work, you entrusted to me. You called me, NRK. This building needs some repairs because some places there is a leakage. You need to arrest that leakage. Some places the painting has become old, and the walls are having some scratches, some what you call they have been spoiled by the students by placing their legs on the walls. All those things have happened. You need to paint it and repair it. They called me. 1 lakh I told, and I charged GST 18%. Now this is repair. Now, as per the accounting standard, this should not be, if this expenditure should not be capitalized, but it should be written off the revenue, written off to the revenue, then this 18% can be claimed as input tax credit. So in a nutshell, we can say that if it is immovable property, construction, repair, etc. is done. If you are capitalizing in your books, no ITC is available. You are not capitalizing in your books, you are writing off or charging it off to your revenue, you will get the input tax credit. That you should understand. Okay. Now this works contract definition has been discussed by us in the definition parts at the beginning of this chapter. What we will do is we will again revisit that definition as to what do you mean by works contract, so that we will be in a better position to understand the following discussion. What do you mean by works contract? Means a contract for building, construction, fabrication, completion, erection, installation, fitting, improvement, modification, repair, maintenance, renovation, alteration, commissioning of any immovable property wherein transfer of property in goods, whether as goods or in some other form, is involved in execution of such a contract. So this is called as works contract. You give me a contract to construct a building. The construction of building involves transfer of property in goods in the same form or in some other form. You call me to construct a building. I bought goods. What are those goods? I bought cement. I bought bricks. I bought iron. Using all these, I constructed a building. The form has changed. So, I constructed a building means I bought cement and again I am selling it to you. I bought bricks and again I am transferring it to you. I bought iron and again I am transferring it to you, but not in that form. The form has changed. The form has changed to walls. The bricks, cement, sand, iron which I bought, I am transferring to you, but it is not in the same form. The form has changed to a wall. Okay. So that is called as works contract. Okay. Now, we will move forward. What is the page number? From where we came, 49. Previously, under the previous indirect tax regime, works contract was related to both mobile and immobile property. But under the GST law, works contract is confined to only immobile property. Immobile property is not defined in the GST law. It is defined in the General Clauses Act. What does General Clauses Act state? It states that immobile property include land, benefits arising out of land, and things attached to earth are permanently fastened to anything attached to the earth. Permanently fastened to anything attached to earth. Now, I bought a machinery. That machinery, what is to be done? A base is constructed, and to that base some bolts are fitted. Bolts. This is a concrete base. Now this concrete base is immobile. Now this machinery what I have bought, this is the machinery what I have bought. What will happen is these two are there. I will bring the machinery and fit into this, and the bolts are fitted. Now, what is this? This is nothing but permanently fastened to anything attached to earth. Concrete base is attached to earth. Attached to earth. Now, this what I am doing, I am permanently fastening it to this something attached to earth. Now the whole thing became immobile property. The whole thing became immobile property. Okay. So that is the definition of immobile property. Now here we have something called as and things attached to earth. What do you mean by things attached to earth? Things attached to earth means rooted in earth, like trees. But a Transfer of Property Act, what it is says, it will not cover standing trees, timber, growing crops, grass, which are agreed to be severed before sale. In the goods definition, this immobile property definition, this is excluded and included in the goods definition. Goods means every kind of movable property other than stocks and shares. Okay, but includes standing trees, growing crops, grass attached to earth, which are agreed to be severed before a contract for sale. You have the goods definition. Embedded in earth, as in the case of walls or buildings. These are attached to the earth. Attached, so embedded for permanent beneficial enjoyment of that to which it is attached. Something is embedded to earth. You are bringing something and fastening it permanently. Then also it will become attached to earth. Now, works contract is a composite supply. It involves supply of goods as well as supply of service. The works contract is a composite supply. It involves supply of goods as well as supply of service. But as per Schedule 2 of the CGST Act, what does Schedule 2 of the CGST Act say? It will say whether an activity is treated as a supply of good or an activity is treated as supply of service. Now, in that, one of the entries states that works contract is a supply of service. Works contract is a supply of service. As per Schedule 2 of the CGST Act, works contract is a supply of service. Okay. Now, works contract service for construction of immovable property. What do you mean by works contract? We understood. What do you mean by immovable property? We understood. Next thing is we need to know the definition of construction. We will learn at a later point of time. Works contract for construction of immovable property is blocked. However, there are certain exceptions. What are those exceptions? Further supply of works contract. Immovable property is the plant and machinery. Plant and machinery became immovable property. Plant and machinery became immovable property. Let us take the example of a lift. Johnson and Johnson lift. Let us take the example of Johnson and Johnson lift. What happened? I was constructing a building. I want to construct a building. I asked Johnson and Johnson people to fit the lift or to install the lift in my building. My building is a 20 floors building. 20 floors building I have constructed. I am a contractor. Somebody asked me to construct a 20-floor building. What is there? Shouldn't I construct? I can construct. What is there? I constructed. Now that building want a lift. So I contacted Johnson and Johnson and asked them to fit that lift. The lift became immovable property. What they have done? They have permanently fastened that lift to the building. So lift became immovable property. But it is a plant and machinery. Plant and machinery, even though it became immovable property, I will be allowed to claim input tax credit. That you should understand. Okay. So two exceptions are there. Now, what is this? Works contract. Works contract. Construction. of what? Immovable property. Immovable property. It is blocked. It is blocked, but there are certain exceptions. What are those exceptions? Same line of business. Same line of business. I will tell you what is same line of business. KCR sir and Jagan sir, both of them, one day called me in a conference call. Okay, they called me in a conference call and they asked me to construct a road from Vijayawada to Hyderabad. Now, what is this happening? This road is going somewhere. This road is going somewhere. It should not go like that. They asked me to construct, again it is going somewhere. No, it should not go like that. Right. They asked me to construct a road. Now this time I think it is straight. They asked me to construct a road from Vijayawada to Hyderabad, 10-lane, straight road, 10 lanes road. They wanted me to construct, and they told me that anyone driving by car should start at Vijayawada, reach Hyderabad in 2.5 hours. They told me. Okay, what is there? I accepted. Okay, for each kilometer they promised me 100 crores. For each kilometer of road, the contract price is 100 crores and the total distance is 265 kilometers. I am a contractor. I will take for every kilometer 100 crores plus GST. Plus GST. Now input tar I will use, cement I will use something, I will use something. Also labor. The output tax is 18 crores. On all these I paid tax, I will get input credit. Because I am a contractor myself. And I am constructing an immovable property. I was given a works contract. But what happened? I am busy in my work. So what I have done? I gave subcontract of 10 kilometers to one of my friend, another 10 kilometers to one of my relative, another 10 kilometers I gave it to Aditya, another 10 kilometers I gave it to Abid. So I gave subcontract. Now I will start at Vijayawada and constructing some 50 kilometers. From 51 kilometer to 60th kilometer, Abid will construct. From 61st kilometer to 70th kilometer, Aditya will construct. Like that, I have divided and subcontracted. Now, what Aditya will do? He will buy cement, bricks, etc., on which he has paid GST. As Aditya constructs 10 kilometers, I have contracted with Aditya for 900 crores. Now I will pay Aditya 900 crores plus GST. Now this GST is output tax for Aditya. From this output tax, he will be able to claim the tax paid on his inputs. He will claim. Now Aditya charged me 18% of 900. Right? Now, can I claim that as my input credit? Yes. Why? Because both of us are in the same line of business. He is also a contractor. I am also a contractor. I gave subcontract to him for which he charged me some money and GST. That is an input service to me. out of my output tax, I can claim the input tax credit charged by Aditya. That you should understand. Or the second exception is plant and machinery. Plant and machinery is constructed. It became immovable property. Plant and machinery is constructed. It became immovable property, but still, I will be able to claim the input tax credit. That you should understand. Now let's move forward. What do you mean by construction? Construction includes reconstruction, renovation, addition, alteration, or repair to the extent of capitalization. To the extent of capitalization. So what will happen is, if I gave a works contract for immovable property, that amount I have capitalized in my books of accounts, I can't take input tax credit. So I gave a works contract for construction of an immovable property. I capitalized in my books of account. Then I won't get input tax credit. I gave construction of building to someone. Construction include repair. But as per the accounting standards, that repair expenditure which I have incurred need not be capitalized, but it should be written off to the profit and loss account. It should be written off to the profit and loss account. Then I can take the input tax credit on such expenditure. Okay. What about plant and machinery? Plant and machinery, though capitalized or not capitalized, you will get the input tax credit. Right. Meaning of plant and machinery. What do you mean by plant and machinery? Plant and machinery means apparatus, equipment, machinery fixed to earth by foundation, or structural supports that are used for making outward supply of goods and or services, and includes such a foundation or structural support. If you have laid down a concrete bed to fix the machinery, then that concrete bed will also become part of plant and machinery. That you should understand. For what purpose you should be using the plant and machinery? You should use the plant and machinery for the purpose of making outward supply of goods or services. I am a manufacturer of ready-made garments. I purchased a machinery. What that machinery will do? I have purchased a machinery. What that machinery will do? That machinery will weave the fabric. That machinery will weave the fabric. I purchased another machinery, sewing machines. So my staff, the workers, once the cloth is manufactured, they will take the cloth and they will stitch the cloth into garment, ready-made garment. Shirts, t-shirts, trousers, chudidars, all those things they will stitch. So this machinery, sewing machines, or the machinery which will manufacture cloth, all those things I am utilizing for the purpose of making my outward supply of goods or service. But machinery will not include land, building, or other civil structures. Now, to place this machinery, I have constructed a shed. You can't say that the shed is a plant and machinery. You can't say that. For fitting the machinery, that machinery will have vibrations when it is switched on. In order to avoid the vibrations, I should fasten it to a concrete bed. So specially to fix that machine, I constructed that concrete bed. That concrete bed can be plant and machinery. But to protect this machine from sunlight, rain, etc., I constructed a shed. That shed can't be plant and machinery. Plant and machinery will not include telecommunication towers and pipelines laid outside the factory. Okay. So ITC on plant and machinery is available, though it is an immovable property. Whatever business you do, you are a manufacturer, you are a service provider, you be someone who provide output service or goods. You supply whatever you want, goods or service. Plant and machinery, be it immovable plant and machinery or movable plant and machinery, you will get input tax credit. Plant and machinery will not include land, buildings, civil structures, telecommunication towers and pipelines laid outside the factory. That is with relation to works contract. That is in relation to works contract blocked credit. Now let us examine some illustrations and check whether the ITC is blocked or available in those cases. Check whether ITC is available or blocked in those cases. ITC on works contract service availed by a software company for construction of his office, blocked, not available. CD and Co, a works contractor Noida, awarded a contract for construction of commercial complex in Lucknow. The firm avails the services EF and Co, a local works contractor of Lucknow, allowed. Same line of business. Both are contractors. Subcontract is given, allowed. ITC is allowed. ITC on works contract services availed by an automobile company for construction of a foundation on which machinery to be used in production process is mounted permanently, allowed. I told you the example. Any foundation laid to erect the machinery, it is also treated as a machinery and you will get the input tax credit, no issue at all. ITC on works contract availed by a manufacturing company for construction of pipeline outside factory, not available. Because works contract for construction of immovable property is blocked. However, plant and machinery, same line of business, allowed. But plant and machinery definition excludes a pipeline laid outside the premises of the factory. So not allowed. Okay. A consulting firm has availed service of a works contractor for repair. When it comes to repair, the definition of the construction will include repair. But construction means only when you capitalize. Construction means only when you capitalize. The company booked such expenditure to profit and loss account. Therefore, allowed, because this is not a construction. When you will call it as construction, you will call it as construction when you capitalize the expenditure in your books as per the prevailing gap. Okay. When it is written off to the profit and loss account, you can definitely claim it as input tax credit. A telecommunication company has availed services of a works contractor for repair of its office building. The company capitalized, not available. The input tax credit is not available if you capitalize the expenditure. So, works contract is availed by works contractor, means subcontracting. Subcontracting available. Plant and machinery available. Works contract is not capitalized, available. Okay. In those three circumstances, the input tax credit is available. Self-construction of immovable property. This already I told you. The example of champs constructing their own building by themselves. ITC is not at all available. ITC is not at all available, even though they construct it on their own account. But if they construct immovable property of plant and machinery on their own account, you will get input tax credit. If they carry out a repair to their building, they do not capitalize as per the accounting standards that expenditure is to be written off to the profit and loss account, then they will get the input tax credit on that repair. Okay. So if you are constructing on your own account, plant and machinery available, not capitalized available. When the construction is not on own account, means you are a contractor by yourself. You constructed for somebody. If you construct for somebody, you will become a contractor. You will get input tax credit. If you are constructing, let me say, I am a big contractor. Big fellows, Reliance fellows, or who are the other big fellows, Tata fellows, or nowadays recent big fellows who are the Adanis. Whenever they want to construct a building, they will call me. I am a big contractor. I construct huge buildings. I construct huge factories, huge administrative buildings, huge houses I construct. So I am a contractor. Will I get input tax rate, yes or no? Will I get input tax, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My dear friends, I am a big contractor. Okay. Will I operate my operations on road? No, I also need a building. I also need a building to carry out my operations. Who will construct this building? Who will construct this building? Tell me the answer. Who will construct the building?
Contractor himself.
Who will construct? Contractor. Nitya, I myself am a big contractor. So to construct my own building, do you think that I will be appointing another contractor? No, I will construct it myself. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, I will construct myself. So this became my own account. Own account. Will I get ITC? Yes or no? For this
No,
building?
No, sir.
No. That is what this has been done. I am a contractor. If I construct to others, I will get ITC. But if I construct on my own account, to that extent, I don't get ITC. Now, all of you, are you able to understanding, or I am teaching to myself?
Understanding, sir.
Very good, very good. Now let us, we will understand in a better way with the help of the following examples. A company buys cement, tiles, etc., and avails the services of an architect for construction of its office building. Now tell me, is ITC allowed? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
ITC not available.
Not available. ITC is not given. M and Constructions procures cement, paint, iron rods, service of architects, interior for construction of a commercial complex for one of its clients. Allowed. Because I am carrying out a works contract to construct a building of somebody else. Somebody called me. NRK, you construct my office building, they told me. I went and constructed their office building for 1 crore. Charged 18 lakhs GST. I purchased cement. I purchased paint. I purchased iron rods. I took the services of an architect. I took the services of an interior designer. Worst fellows, all of them charged GST. All of them charged GST. All those things are inputs to me. All those things are input services to me. 18 lakhs is my output tax. From this 18 lakhs, I will claim the input tax credit paid at the time of purchase of cement, at the time of purchase of paint, at the time of purchase of iron rods. A company buys cement, tiles, and avails the services of architect for renovation. Whenever renovation word comes, you definitely something should strike you. What is that something that should strike you? Tell me.
Construction.
Construction, and also something else should strike you. That
Repair.
something. Sorry.
Sir, repairs.
Repair, whether it is capitalized or whether it is charged off to profit and loss account, should strike you. The company booked the expenditure to profit and loss account, then you will get the input tax credit. Because you call it as a construction only when you capitalize. You will call it as a construction only when you capitalize. If you do not capitalize, you don't call it as a construction. ITC on goods and services used by an automobile company for construction of a foundation on which machinery to be used in production process allowed. Go to the definition of plant and machinery. Plant and machinery, even though it becomes immovable, then it is fastened to something which is permanently fitted to the earth. That foundation is also plant and machinery. You will get input tax credit. So my dear friends, this is about blocked credit in respect of works contract on construction of immovable property. That is simply a single line. That is simply a single line. Works contract service for a construction of immovable property is blocked, simply one line. But we have analyzed that for 1 hour. To understand it, we have analyzed it for 1 hour. So, in your lifetime, whenever it comes to GST on works contract, whatever I have deliberated for this 1 hour will be a foundation for you. So in future, you can develop upon this foundation of our 1 hour discussion with regard to the works contract for construction of immovable property. This is a base which I have given you. Inward supplies charged to tax under composition levy is blocked. There is one Mr. X who is a composition dealer. I purchased my inputs, some of my inputs from X. Will I get a ITC, yes or no? Will I get ITC?
No, sir.
No. Why? Why?
So because we don't pay tax to composition.
Because
We don't pay tax to composition.
we don't pay tax to composition dealer. Very good. Where did we learn about composition scheme? In section 10. Composition dealer is not eligible to issue tax invoice. He can't give tax invoice. He can't collect GST. Composition dealer can't collect GST. Composition dealer cannot levy GST. Composition dealer cannot issue tax invoice. One of the important conditions under section 16 to claim input tax credit is that you should have a valid tax paying document invoice. Invoice is to be there. You should have received goods or services. Supplier should have paid the GST to the government. You should have filed GST or 3B. Most importantly, 4 conditions are there for you to avail input tax credit. Composition dealer cannot pass on the credit, but nonetheless, inputs received from the composition dealer is blocked. Inputs received from the composition dealer is blocked. Input supplies received by a non-resident taxable person. Non-resident taxable person. We learned the definition of non-resident taxable person at the beginning of this chapter. Whom do you mean by a non-resident taxable person? A non-resident taxable person is a person who occasionally supplies goods or services or both and who do not have a permanent place of establishment in India, that fellow is a non-resident taxable person. Now, if he procures input services and capital goods, ITC is not available. ITC is not available. But there is one exception. There is one exception. What is that? GST paid on import of goods is available as ITC. When you import goods, in the place of additional excise duty previously used to be levied, in that place IGST is collected. That IGST alone is allowed as ITC. Meaning by, if this fellow uses input services which are imported into India, ITC not allowed on that. Only ITC is available on IGST paid on import of goods by a non-resident taxable person alone is allowed as a ITC. That you should understand. Inward supplies for personal consumption. Inward supplies for personal consumption. Now, my dear friends, one of the basic understanding to avail the input tax credit is, one of the basic understanding to avail the input tax credit is there should be output tax. There should be output tax. Let us say I am getting inputs on which I paid GST of 18 rupees. When will I get the ITC? I will get the ITC only when there is output for me. I bought this. I manufactured. A finished good came. This finished good should be taxable. Then only 18 I will get ITC. Now assume of a situation wherein I bought the good for 100 rupees. I am a ready-made cloth or ready-made garments shop fellow. A new saree came. May name any one of the very recent movie. Name any one of the very recent movie. Something nowadays I am not watching the movies. So I am unable, I am poor at movies nowadays. Previously I used to watch many movies, but nowadays of late I am not watching. So I became poor in movies. Tell me any one of the recently released movie. Somebody helped me through chat box. Raja Chora. Very good. So in a recent movie, Raja Chora, that heroine, what is the name of the heroine? Tell me. What is the name of the heroine? The other day someone told me, I think, that Niveda Petraj something. Sunaina Megha Akash. Megha Akash. Who is this Megha Akash? Who is this Megha Akash? Megha Akash. Megha Akash. Who is she? Okay, this girl. This is Megha Akash. Oh, right. Now let us assume that, of course, I don't think she has an habit of wearing saris. In almost all the pictures, she is not at all wearing sari. But I will assume that in that movie, she wore a sari. Now that sari came into the market. Megha sari or Akash sari. Akash sari. Now I don't know whether this will be a hit among the ladies. So somehow my wife came to know that in the shop I bought this Akash sari. Somehow she came to know. Now what she has done, she rang me up and now let us assume this is 1,000 and 180. Of course, on saris, we need to take it as 5%. What is 5%? 50 rupees. Okay. Now my wife rang me. NRK, my dear husband, do you know that I love you very much? Now why is she saying all these things? Because she wants a sari. So you know how much I love you. You need to do one thing. I heard that you have procured Akash sari. Bring that sari to home when you come to home. You come to home with that sari, or for this night and until you bring that sari, you can have the comfort of the shop. You can sleep, eat, drink, etc. at the shop itself, she told me. Poor fellow, myself, what I can do? I took that sari to home. I paid GST 50 rupees. Now, will I be able to claim this as ITC? No. Why? When I have taken it to my home to give that sari to my wife, it is a personal consumption. Will I sell the sari to my wife? I will be a dead person by the time I ask her the money or the price. Now, can I take the sari to my wife along with a bill? That to do the bill so and so shop sold to so and so person 1,200 rupees. You add GST of 5%, 60 rupees, 1,260 ting. If I give this bill to my wife, what will happen? Nothing will happen. I will not be able to come to Zoom meeting tomorrow. Right or wrong? Right. So I don't take money. It became personal consumption. It became personal consumption. No output tax. When there is no output tax, how can I claim the input credit? Not available. It is blocked. It is blocked. Now I don't own a shop. My wife don't ask me sari to bring it from market. She will take the money from me. She herself will go to the market and buy saris. Okay. So what are all the examples I tell you are not real? My wife even don't kill me or she don't even scold me. I will tell you examples because you will be able to retain it in your mind, at least with the help of the example. That's why I will tell you every day. I will tell you some 10 or 15 examples. Will Ambani, will Adani, will Tata's call me to construct a building? No. It is just an example. Will chance people call me to construct a building? No, it is only an example. So that you will remember it in a better manner. Personal purpose, there is no output tax, therefore ITC will not be allowed, it will be blocked. You should understand. Mr. X owns a grocery store. Mr. X owns a grocery stores. He procures rice, wheat, biscuits for being sold in his stores. One day his wife called him, X darling, when you come home, bring 10 kgs of rice, 10 kgs of wheat. Poor fellow, what he can do? He took that 10 kgs of rice and 10 kgs of wheat to his home. Can he claim the input tax credit on 10 kgs of rice and 10 kgs of wheat? No. It is blocked because it is used for personal consumption. When used for personal consumption, there is no output tax. When there is no output tax, you will not be able to claim the input credit. That you should understand. Free samples, gifts, goods stolen, lost, etc. Goods are, you learned the definition of supply under section 7. Supply includes all forms of supply: sale, exchange, barter, disposal, rent, lease, for consideration by a person in the course or furtherance of business is supply. Section 7. Disposal. Disposal is one of the important aspects in supply. Disposal is also a supply. Disposal is also a supply. Disposal for consideration is a supply. If there is no consideration in disposal, it is not at all a supply. It is not at all a supply. Okay. Disposal by way of gift. I am a watch manufacturing company. I have employees, 2000 employees I have. I am a watch manufacturing company. I have 2000 employees. And I have set up the factory 25 years back with 10 employees. Now after 25 years, I became a big company selling and manufacturing and selling watches. Now I have 2000 employees. On this happy occasion, I want to give 2000 employees one good watch. Where will I get the watch? Will I buy the watches in the market?
Sir.
No.
No, na, yes, sir.
No, sir.
Why?
Because you are manufacturing those watches.
I manufacture watches. If I want to give gift of watches to my 2000 employees, why will I go to Titan and buy watches? I give the watches which are manufactured in my company to my employees. Are watches manufactured in air? Are watches manufactured out of air? To manufacture a watch, I need input. On that input, I paid ITC. What to the extent of 2000 watches which I gave it away as gift, I won't get ITC. Why? Because there is no output tax. When there is no output tax, how can I take the input credit? Not available. I gave away free samples. Yesterday I told you the example of water.
Shampoo sachets.
What did I do with the shampoo sachets?
Given to newspaper boy.
Very good. Why do I tell examples? I will tell you examples so that you will be in a better position to understand, retain your mind and recollect whenever it is necessary. I told you the examples of shampoo packets, free samples. Are shampoos manufactured out of air? No. To manufacture that shampoo sachet, which I gave it away free of cost, I procured input. On that input, I paid GST. On that input, I paid GST. That will not be allowed as ITC because there is no output tax. Last goods. What happened? I have lost the goods. How did I lost the goods? I manufactured my goods in my factory. I have a warehouse somewhere 50 kilometers away. On one day, what happened? When one of the container carrying my goods from factory to the warehouse, in between, there was a heavy downpour, there was lightning, and my goods, what happened? They are washed away in a flood. My goods were washed away in the flood. So I lost those goods. When I lost those goods, I can't supply. When I can't supply, there is no output tax. When there is no output tax, there is no ITC also. Stolen goods. One night, worst fellow, one of my clerk, what he has done is, he forgot to lock the door of the godown. Thieves came. They took away some of the goods, stolen, destroyed. What happened in one of my godown? Rats came. They destroyed my goods. Goods that are written off. I manufactured some goods. They became obsolete. Nobody is coming to buy. 5 years have gone by from their date of manufacture. Nobody is coming. Most of them are spoiled. Some have been lost. Something happened. I have written off them. Then also proportionate ITC is to be reversed. Then also proportionate ITC is to be reversed. What do you mean by gift? Gift is not defined in Transfer of Property Act. It is defined transfer of certain existing movable or immovable property made voluntarily without consideration by one person. That fellow is called donor, to another person who is called the donee, and accepted by the donee. Gifts means without consideration. It is voluntary in nature, made occasionally. It can't be demanded as a matter of right. Of course, children will ask it as a demand. So whenever they do a small favor to me, they will demand me a gift. But what you should understand is gift is one which can't be demanded. Okay, right. Next one. Meaning of sample. Sample is a small part or quantity intended to show what the whole is like. Now, did I send a shampoo bottle or did I send a shampoo sachet?
Sachet, sir.
Sachet I have sent. Why? People will test it on that Sunday. They will wash their hair with my shampoo. And after 1 week, their hair will become some 10 times long. They will be even be able to drag a lorry with that hair. So I should demonstrate the efficiency and efficacy of my shampoo. For that, I don't give them bottles. I give them sachets. It is called sample. Sample means small part to show what the whole is like. Sales promotion expenses or schemes. A circular is given, dated 28/3/2019. Sample and free gift. Sample and free gifts are given away free of cost. My dear friend, if there is no consideration, it is not at all a supply. When there is no consideration, it is not at all a supply. What is the meaning of supply as per section 7? Section 7 of the CGST Act says that supply includes all forms of supply, including sale, exchange, barter, disposal, rent, lease by a person for consideration. If I give away something free, it is not a supply. If it is not a supply, there is no output tax. If there is no output tax, you don't get ITC. There is one exception in Schedule 1. The activities treated as a supply, even though not made for a consideration, deemed supply. In that, if I give it to related parties without consideration, it is deemed as supply. Then output tax will come. When output tax comes, ITC is allowed. So samples and free gifts given to non-related parties, no consideration, no supply, no output tax, ITC disallowed. If made to related parties, deemed as supply as per Schedule 1, there is output tax. If there is output tax, you will get ITC. Buy one, get one offer. We already seen this particular topic. Buy one, get one. Buy one, get one is nothing but a composite supply or a mixed supply. It is nothing but buy one shirt, get one shirt free. Nothing but a composite or mixed supply. You are getting 2 shirts for one price. You are getting 2 shirts for one price. There is output tax. ITC is not disallowed. ITC is allowed. Discount including buy more, save more. Buy more, save more discounts. This also we have dealt with. Buy more, save more. Buy more, save more. What is buy more, save more? During the financial year, you buy 1,000 units. I will give you 1% discount. You buy 5,000 units. I will give you 2% discount. You buy 10,000 units. I will give you 3% discount. How much discount I am going to get, I will not know it until 31st of March. But at the time of supply, we have an agreement. At the time of supply, we have an agreement. What is that agreement? My dear customers are, this is the discount chart. Based upon the quantity you purchase or based upon the volume of goods you achieve the target in a particular financial year, discount is fixed in this manner. Will this discount be allowed? Now this fellow is the supplier. Will the discount be reduced from the value? Yes or no? Yes or no? Answer me quickly. Yes or no? Yes, because this is a post-supply discount. Post-supply discount will be allowed as deduction if two conditions are satisfied. One, the discount is known at the time of supply itself by way of an agreement. The recipient reverses the ITC proportionately. This post-supply discount, if two conditions are satisfied, it will be reduced from the value of supply as per section 15. Here, ITC will not be reversed. ITC will not be reversed. But this fellow recipient has to reverse. Recipient has to add it to his outward tax. This is post-supply discount. What about the post-supply secondary discount? No ITC effect. No ITC effect. The post-supply secondary discount will not have any ITC effect. That we have already learned in the supply chapter. Value of supply we learned. ITC reversal when return of time expired medicine or drugs treated as a fresh supply. In pharmaceutical industry, there is manufacturer. There is a distributor. There is a wholesaler. There is a retailer. Manufacturer supply to distributor, distributor supply to wholesaler, wholesaler supply to the retailer. What happened? The medicine will have expiry date. In the hands of retailer, medicines expired. Can he sell the expired medicines at a discounted price?
No, sir.
No. People will die. This fellow will go to jail. What will happen? Medicines expired at a manufacturer's place. If medicines expire at a manufacturer's place, he will write off. He will write off. He will destroy the medicines. To that extent, ITC not allowed. If retailer hand medicine expires, he has two options. One option is return back or make a fresh supply. If medicines have expired in the hands of the retailer, he can return it. This is one option. Now this option we will discuss at the invoices and credit notes chapter. Now here we will deal about fresh supply. This expired medicines, this fellow will sell to wholesaler. Wholesaler will sell to distributor. Distributor will sell to manufacturer. Now let us say this fellow sells the expired medicines to the wholesaler for 1,000 rupees. He will charge GST 180 rupees. He will pay it to government. Wholesaler what will do? He will take the input credit. Again, he will sell it to distributor for 1,000. Output tax is 180. Input tax credit is 180 nil. Distributor will sell the same 1,000 to manufacturer. 180 output tax to distributor, 180 input tax credit, balance payable nil. Coming to the manufacturer, he purchased for 1,000. He paid GST 180. Now what this manufacturer will do is, he will destroy the medicines. Now tell me, can he take this 180 as input credit, yes or no? Yes, sir. No, the manufacturer can't take that as input credit. Manufacturer can't take that as input credit because he destroyed the medicines. Why the distributor or wholesaler took the input credit? Because they further supplied it. Manufacturer won't further supply. He destroyed that. So 180 input credit he won't get. Right. Now, next part. Next part. Tax paid in fraud cases, detention cases, confiscation cases. No input tax credit. Now I am a dishonest fellow. Example, don't think I am dishonest. I am very much honest and integral fellow. Suppose I am dishonest. Just you assume I am dishonest. I want to sell the goods unaccounted for. I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes and sent a lorry of goods to somebody without tax. In between, the GST department stopped and they demanded tax. I paid tax. Now the buyer can't claim input credit. Why? Because this tax is paid on account of fraud or detention or confiscation. So input tax credit is not available. It is blocked. So my dear friends, this is with regard to blocked credit. Tomorrow, we will continue the session with rule number 42 and rule number 43, apportionment of credit in respect of common inputs used for both exempted and taxable outputs. Tomorrow, we will learn that. So for today, I will sign off.